Hey Libra, this one's for you. You are the sign of relationship. This is Tarot Illumination with your love relationship report for July 2017. Okay, we're going to keep it pretty stripped down, bare bones simple. I would invite you to watch the little introduction video for the playlist, and also if you want to go even deeper, look at the behind the scenes video for the playlist. Okay, it applies to everyone. So just so that you know, I don't do any reversals, no jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, nothing like that. Sorry, I'm not on the generals. So also, please read for your sun, moon, and rising. That's the drill. You know that, of course. You've done this before many times, I'm sure. So what was that? What else? Oh yeah, the Libra, you might be feeling like you're under a lot of pressure at the moment because of this Cancer Capricorn lunar axis going through July, because the Libra sign is part of that big fat T-square that's been going on, which is putting a lot of pressure. The T-square, the Libra, is actually in some ways putting the pressure on the two polarities of Capricorn and Cancer. But anyway, let's forget about that stuff. We're just doing a little tarot. But all I'm saying is, Libra, if you want to, you have an excuse. You can blame the planets. Yay! You've got a way out. Ha 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 ha. Of course, it's not true. I think, what's that saying? The planets compel, but they do not command. Something like that. I was taught that very recently. In other words, you still have the right and the obligation to make your own decisions, whatever is going on. Okay? And I know sometimes, Libra, you don't like to do that. You like everything to be harmonious and in balance, without having to, like, take sides directly. But it's okay. Don't worry. We're not judging here, Libra. Okay. Here we go. We're going to cut, and then we're going to read. And we're going to do it like we showed you on the intro video. Okay? You'll figure it out as we go along. Okay? So here we go. Let's say this is you. Say this is a significant other. Let's say we're going deeper into you now, deeper into your significant other, and we're going into the status of the relationship here, okay? We're reading this spread from the perspective of a crucible where you have like a safe place or an invisible structure called the relationship, which is not you, which is not the other, it's the relationship through which the energies are conducted, okay? And where does this all lead us? Okay, let's just have a look. Underneath, we have what I think of as the weather. It's just the prevailing conditions around you, and like anybody else, you just make the best of it. And you've got the little 7 of Cups, which can mean different types of things to different, readers and viewers. From my perspective right now, dear Libra, it feels to me that you might be in kind of this dreamy state where you're getting this feeling like there's options available to you. And it's almost like a little bit dizzying, so to speak. Some Libras have been through very, very hard times recently. And if things are starting to feel like on the upswing, or good things are culminating as poor things are disappearing, it can be a little disorienting. Like what's actually going on type of thing. But that's okay. Just pretend it's like shifting weather, and you're going to make the best of it, okay? It can also be very, very good like circumstances for tapping into your dreams and desires and wishes and ambitions from way, way high above, and inducing them to come down to you here on earth in a way that can be expressed in the way that humans understand, especially in the context of a loving relationship. So let's have a look. What's going on with you? Okay, well, this is a good sign of appreciation. It might indicate here that in some way, in some aspect of your love life, there is a degree of appreciation. You might be experiencing at least the slightest, not just the slightest, but maybe an actual really tangible evidence that you are being appreciated and valued, okay? Also, simultaneously, I'm feeling a reciprocal energy here where you may be kind of in this frame of mind where you're starting to really value and appreciate a significant other. Even though the whole relationship might be relatively kind of new in some aspects, like you might be just discovering whole new dynamics about yourselves and each other, but that's a good thing. Let's just treat it as, let's say, a work in progress, where it's understood that it's a continuum. You're living in a continuum. It's not like, let's say you get hooked up and then everything just goes onto autopilot from there, or you just got engaged, or you just got married or something, and now, okay, well, now we just have to do that, living according to appearances without ever having to reconfigure and keep up the work as you go along. It's on the understanding that Libra, you might understand that it's a work in progress. It's continuous. It never stops. You always have to nurture the relationship, even if it means you take downtime from each other as part of the nurturing process. And wow, that's weird. Do you see the screen, blinky colors? Anyway, let's not freak out. We're just going to keep going. So it's a team effort, okay? That's what we're sensing here, and that's usually pretty comfortable for Libras. What about the other? Let's have a look. Wow. Okay, so dear Libra, you might be relating to another party, a significant other. Okay, just bear with me here for a moment in case you didn't watch the other two support videos. These readings are done from the context of chosen relationships, not just random hookups. It's also in the understanding that even if you are literally single right now and maybe shopping around or looking, you still are radiating the energy of relationship. And in so doing, you can still attract the kind of energy that you need, which would show up in a similar way to what's happening right here, right now with the other party, so to speak. This is their energy, okay? This is the relationship. This is your energy. So you might be relating with someone who values you very highly, and they're not afraid to show it. It's also the feeling that you yourself value the other greatly in one form or another. And it isn't just whooshy stuff and romantic, gooey feelings. It's very tangible stuff. Evidence is in play between both parties where, from their own different perspectives, there's a high degree of value and appreciation between one and another. And from their perspective, it looks from Tarot Lumination perspective that they value themselves as well. They understand that they're a good catch. The Queen of Pentacles is a woman of substance. There's a reason why she wears the crown and wears the robes and is more than capable of carrying this much wealth and abundance in her being. It's because over perhaps lifetimes or generations, she's figured out the energy of love, but how it works in the form of, like, love is as love does. Love is action. Love is expressed. Love isn't just like a romantic poem that you just had in your brain. Love is showing appreciation, like, hey kids, do you want to go out for ice cream tonight? Or, hey, my dear loved one, I just wanted to let you know, I think you're pretty awesome. We've already sorted out the stuff that we don't like, but overall, I think you're pretty awesome. And I just wanted to let you know, so I got you this new present. And you kind of go, wow, that's cool. You really do love me. Wow, thank you. Okay, cool. Work in progress. Da-ding, da-ding. Yep, work in progress. So that's really kind of like complementary type of energy. At least we're starting with that. Let's go deeper and see what happens here. Also, by the way, the other party is not shy about sharing their resources, their gifts, their love in very tangible ways. Again, this is not a cups card. It's more to do with, like, tangible expression, like, let's go on a bike ride together, or let's go window shopping for a new home, or it could be anything like that, where it's like, it's the nuts and bolts of life, as opposed to the romanticism. This is actually having a functional, healthy relationship dynamic. Let's go deeper. What's going on with you? Whoa, and you're feeling it too. Whoa. Libra, I don't know what's going on, but it might be that deep down you feel like you might be relating to someone who's potentially a really good catch and also kind of on the same vibrational frequency as yourself. And that can be really wonderful in a relationship. And that's kind of almost like an idealized, not idealized in an unattainable way, but like an idealized, an ideal energy pattern to have in a relationship where there's a high degree of parity between the two parties, where like your energy over here, dear Libra, is on a very compatible energy level to the other party over here. It's not like you're hyper dominant and they're like submissive or anything like that, or they're like superior and substantial and everything, and you're kind of wavering over here like, oh, am I worthy? Do you really love me? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's very, very, from my perspective here, it feels like there's a really high degree of parity where you're resonating very closely to each other. Even through the rough times, if you're going through rough and bumpy times, it's on the understanding that it's mutually beneficial for each party, because it's like, it looks like you're getting the feeling deep down inside that there's aspects of a significant other that are equally valuable, and you've probably figured it out already. Look at this. This would almost be like a matching pair, so to speak. I don't want to read too much into it yet, but you can imagine how a king and a queen who appreciate each other at this kind of level could be a good match for each other, including long-term stability, okay? So that's very supportive. Let's, this could also indicate that deep down you might also be considering the whole idea of structure together, like locking it down in the traditional man-woman type way, where it would include creating a substantial life together, okay, where you get to feel as though you're in charge of your bits and pieces and parts in the life, with another person who's more than capable of taking care of themselves in their aspects of the life. In other words, honoring and respecting each other's distinct individualities and identities, and yet at the same time allowing for a very, very potentially rewarding good match together. So that doesn't happen all the time, okay? A lot of relationships are fluctuating in and out of these kind of imbalances, and every now and again you can connect in the middle and say, oh, that was that amazing moment we had. Do you remember when, honey? Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes when you're in a relationship dynamic where there's a very high degree of parity, there can be a tremendous sense of calm and peace and trust that is almost uncanny. And it can be very disturbing if you're a person who's used to a lot of seesawing and power imbalances and drama, and then come to in a situation where you're in parity. If you're not used to it, that can feel disorienting, and you can think, well, what's happening? I can't handle that. But if you can just sit with that energy for a while, where you're dealing with an equal, so to speak, and you start to get that feeling, it's just like, it's extremely satisfying. So you start to get that whole like love vibe thing where it starts to blur into one beautiful like synchronized dance kind of thing. Both parties being very supportive of each other. Let's go and have a look deep inside. Well, they got the little Three of Cups deep inside. So secretly, this is what I'm feeling, secretly deep down, they're like really pleased with what's happening at some degree. Now, if you're in a long-term relationship already, you might be going through a phase right now where you're experiencing some of the energies being described right now. If you are in a, let's say, a nascent relationship or something that is blooming and starting and growing and you're feeling it growing, then this would apply too. But it's, again, Tarot Illumination perspective is that this is kind of internal for the other party. And like it's inside of themselves, they're like, oh God, yes, this is like, I've been wanting like something like this for a really, really long time. And it's not that they're expressing this too openly to you, Libra, directly. It's almost like something like they go to their girlfriends or their guy friends and say, man, you know what? Guess what just happened to me? I probably shouldn't even say it yet, but things are going really, really well with so and so. And I just want to let you know, hey guys, do you want to go? Do you want to? I'll buy a round, okay? And the same thing with the girls. Like if you're on a girls' night out, you might be like eventually secretly confiding in very, very little ways, tiny little nuggets that you might be in a really good spot right now and you just kind of wanted to celebrate with your friends, even though you might not be celebrating this outwardly and openly with a significant other. I'm talking about the other party, Libra, okay? So it might be, what I'm trying to hint at, dear Libra, is that you here, focusing very closely on the work in progress, literally nurturing and taking care of and growing and designing and executing and building out the relationship for times ahead. They are sensing that this is really good because this is like investing. This is like an investment, investing in the relationship. It's not just about what can I get out of you, dear Queen of Pentacles and all your pentacles. No, it's very much the energy of investing, of working on building a solid relationship. And the other party is sensing that and they feel it, but they're feeling it in the heart. You are taking care of business here, dear Libra, but they are feeling it in the heart with the little Three of Cups, and that just makes them rejoice. And that feeling of rejoice may not be what I was trying to get at, may not be voiced to you directly, but you might feel it because this is like personal, private, internal energy, and they might just be sharing that with a couple of their dearest and most trusted loved ones that are not you, dear Libra. So, if you Libra are not feeling this from the other, don't worry about it. It's still there, okay? You are truly loved and appreciated, but in a very kind of like, like a realistic way. At least that's what we've got so far. Let's see what's happening. Let's go deeper into, let's just call it the status of the relationship. God, we're whizzing along with this reading. I don't know what's happening. Let me just check something. Okay, I want to touch back on this a bit. The Seven of Cups. Now, since this is pervasive weather around the whole thing, it could be an indication that, see, like if it was the Nine of Cups, this would be like a wishes come true type of situation. But what I'm feeling here is that you're kind of living through the currents of the relationship in a very kind of fluid way, where even though you're minding your business, taking care of business, you see the value. You are valuing yourself very highly, which is very important. Love you first. And you're getting a lot of resonance from another party over here because they are already loving themselves first. And the reciprocal energy is felt inside the other party, which is very nice. But the prevailing weather is an indication that almost might feel like it's like a too good to be true situation. So you could be questioning and doubting what's happening because this looks very supportive and positive. And if you've had a life history of, let's say, relationships that didn't go too well, and now you're experiencing what it's like to be in something more substantial and fulfilling and loving, then yeah, it might make you feel a little bit wobbly and weird and dizzy, like, oh my God, is this what it's really like? Can't be. No. Maybe it is. And then you could start examining like the dream aspects of the relationship where you're looking more closely and, realizing, wow, this could be something that is like divinely blessed and brought down for heaven in the way that like, brainiac scientists or famous artists who do amazing pieces of work, they tap into this energy a lot. They're very, very tapped into the Seven of Cups energy where they allow themselves to be open to the influences of the great beyond and bring that down into earth in tangible ways, okay, in tangible ways that other people would enjoy as a masterpiece, Okay, so you guys, Libra, you might be actually constructing and building a masterpiece, going from a divine blueprint that came to you from above, perhaps in a dream. Let's have a look at the status of the relationship. Okay, good. So we've got the little Four of Swords here, which my feeling is that something is going on at a very deep soul level between two parties here. It's hard to see on this little image, but there is a person here and another person here in a miniature tiny stained glass window. And it's almost like a tiny little, what I think of as a Two of Cups card, which would be a love card, a card of pure love. In which case, if you're getting a sensation that that's what you're dealing with, and it's making you feel a little bit dizzy, even though you're seeing tangible awareness of goodness and potential here, it can be very disorienting. In which case, like, if it all feels like it's too much of a good thing, it would be very, very appropriate for the relationship to be on, at this, say, moment in time, on hiatus, so to speak, because it looks like there's already substantial momentum underway, and it's starting to be felt and manifested and materialized in a way that makes sense. However, you know, when you're working, you can't work 24/7, 365. You need to take regular, consistent breaks. And that's a very healthy thing to do. So it might be that the status of the relationship right now might actually be in a state of rest, where, let's say, these positive energies here are already in play and understood and starting to manifest and being really appreciated over here by a significant other, and you are being valued, and the value is very evident between the two parties, but you're not letting it go to your heads. You might be at a point where absolutely the right thing to do right now, which would have probably, since it's already indicating that you're in a state of not just hibernation, but more like a timeout phase where you can have a chance to like integrate all this goodness, let it marinate, let it ferment, let it simmer for a while, as this awareness of substance and value and beauty starts to feel more and more real, where it isn't just so scary anymore. It's more like, wow, this is actually happening. I need to chill out. We need to chill out and digest this so we can come back again and with clean perspectives and starting all over. It's literally like, it's time to put the tools down, honey. I need to chill out myself, and we need to take time to assess and evaluate what's going on in the relationship between the two of us in a way that's very, very healthy. In other words, this could be a very, very healthy way for you guys to be right now, even if it includes saying to a loved one, like, dear loved one, it's very evident that we are like this, so we love each other. However, because things are rolling along, ticking along quite well in some ways, we have to understand that we can't take all this for granted, okay? Because I feel this way about you, and I see you as a person of substance who appreciates me, and I don't know if you see me or feel me that way. Maybe you do. I hope you do. And you, dear Libra, remember, this is your reading for you and your relationship with a significant other. This is not a couples reading where it's two of you across the desk of Tarot Lumination. You know, it's just you, Libra. So at this point in time, right now, through July, it might be very, very appropriate to take this work in progress, put the tools down, and live through the process of simmering, okay? Like the fermentation process. And this is probably already in process, so to speak. You might already be doing that through July because the momentum is already built up here. So this is really, really good for healing. Like if there have been any issues between yourself and a significant other that were exposed as you came close together and discovered your high degree of parity, then this is a golden opportunity for healing, okay? So it looks like Libra, it's almost like you've deliberately chosen to go into this condition. So that's encouraging. Let's have a look at where this is leading. Okay, wow. So Libra, this is your reading for you. It's about your relationship, okay? So let's just say you're being very, very methodical, okay? You're being very, 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 very methodical in a very masculine way, even though you might be female. You're taking charge of the relationship dynamics, perhaps in a way that Libra doesn't normally like to do. A lot of times, Libra would just like to let things happen and try, if there is any serious imbalance, just sort of try to draw things into peace and balance again. Or if they go this way, then draw them back to here again, because it's going to sound strange, Libra. I don't want to hurt your feelings or insult you, but sometimes being at a point of equilibrium and balance can be disorienting for a Libra. Libras are so often used to being things out of balance where they have to just live with the sense of imbalance and try to bring it together, that actually staying there and being there can be a little disorienting. So from a perspective as your reader, it feels like by taking deliberate actions and understanding and appreciating the value of what you have in your relationship with a significant other, that this is now inspiring you, let's just say later in the month, to realize like, wow, I am really, truly in a good spot here. Like, things are actually really, really cool. I do feel like I have dominion over my life, not just my worldly life or relationships or this relationship, but my life in general, where this relationship is actually very, very conducive to a good life that could be worth sharing with this other party, to the point where it makes you feel like you're the boss. Even though we're dealing with a lot of energy of parity, it still can leave you feeling like, I own it. I own this, and that's cool. But they're probably going to feel the same thing as well. And because it's like mutual ownership of something that's potentially very healthy. It's just that coming to these realizations of what actually happens in the deep inner dynamics can take a lot of, let's say, patience and understanding. It's just like taking care of a little plant. You can't just say, oh man, we scored. Okay, let's get married and have babies. Bam. No. It takes time and consideration and respect and a lot of nurture. With this new moon in Cancer coming into the month of July and culminating early in July, you're going to see in the middle of July, like more like the fruits of your labor, so to speak, where you could come out of it, especially when you come into the end of the month, or more towards Leo time, where it's going to start to feel like, man, I score. And I feel like it's very, very satisfying to feel like you're in the right place at the right time with the right person for the right reasons. And it becomes like the relationship becomes a source of inspiration itself. So the relationship isn't just a burden or a thing that you have to maintain like a garden or a plant. It's actually, you can actually see the fruits of the labor and how it benefits you personally. In other words, by taking care of the relationship, taking care of the relationship as an entity itself, minding your own business, letting the other live their lives and their identity, respecting each other, valuing each other, taking this time to chill out, rest and evaluate, simmer and nurture, it can lead to the realization like, wow, this sense of self-empowerment and being in charge and an inspiration to myself and others, where it's evident to other people that I, Libra, am in a good place. Sometimes it's like this could not have even happened without the relationship, unless it was by force of ego, force of will. So this relationship looks like it's very, very self-fulfilling, and that the more you work on it, the more you nurture the relationship, the better it gets. And it's cyclical, goes in cycles and waves, just like little plants, just like the waves, just like the oceans. And it's all about nurture, okay? Cancerian energy going through July. Nurture yourself, nurture the other, nurture the relationship, and look what happens. You come out on top. That's awesome. So Libra, let's leave it like that. I don't want to spoil it by saying anything more. Please read for your sun, your moon, your rising. Please watch for the intro video and the behind the scenes video. And have an awesome July. And we'll see you again in August. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Libra. Bye-bye.